Hello, welcome back. A couple of weeks ago, I published a video about this SRNE all-in-one solar charge inverter rated for 10 kilowatt. I questioned the wire sizes they use. I suspect that they are not up to North American standard. Since then, I have received a number of very informative and very helpful comments. This video, I will try to discuss some of the comments and then try to become more knowledgeable about this inverter. Before I do that, I would like to explain based on what that I claim that the wire sizes they use are too small. So the first information I got was from this American wire gauge sizes and properties chart. So from this table, I mostly use the information of the cross-section areas of wires of different gauges. So the reason is sometimes in solar applications we don't have a round-shaped wire. We can have a copper plate like a bus bar. So we also want to know if we have a copper plate and to what size they would correspond to. So I would use the cross-section area here in millimeters squared. So I would measure the width and the depth, and then I would calculate the cross-section area of a copper plate. Then I would decide based on this table to which gauge that copper plate would correspond to. You can also find out the maximum current in this table, but I think that the numbers they give are kind of too low, very conservative. For example, the 14 gauge wire, this table would say the maximum current is 5.9 amps, and we know 14 gauge wire is rated for 15 amps. For the 10 gauge wire, we know it's rated for 30 amps max, but here it says is 15 amps. So that is why I would base my calculation on the next table. I know the numbers are a little bit small, and you can increase out. Just basically, this is the wire ampacity size table. This is for copper wire. Sometimes be very careful when you buy wires that are CCA. They are typically less expensive, so they are basically aluminum wires. So copper clapped aluminum. I'm not sure if that's what CCA stands for, but anyway, so this is for pure copper wire, and they give ratings for 3 different temperatures. First column is 60 degrees Celsius or 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The second is 75 degrees Celsius, and the last one is 90 degrees Celsius. So for the 14 gauge wire, which we have in most North American houses, a normal receptacle would be rated for 15 amps, and then the wire that connects it to the breaker box would be 14 gauge. So here it says that it's 15 amps. That's what we know. And you can see that when the temperature is higher, it's like 20 for 75 degrees Celsius, and then when for 90 degrees Celsius, it's like could be 25. So for the 10 gauge wire, we know also that it's rated for 30 amps. And if you go to higher temperature, you can stretch it to like 40 amps. So this is why one of a very nice guy, he commented that yeah, strictly speaking, if the inverter is running like a load of 10 kilowatt, and it is on split phase, like the 240 volt split phase, and it's perfectly balanced. Yes, each wire will only run like 42 amps maximum. So it's very close in some sense to here. But my question is, are we allowed to run that legally here in North America? Because our houses are under insurance, like for fire and for other things. And if there is any accident, they will come and check if everything is up to code. I mean, I still feel that you are not supposed to run 42 amps through a 10 gauge wire in North America, legally, I mean. So another comment from a person, I think from Japan, he's saying that the insulating material, like the plastic skin of the wire they use in this inverter and in some Japanese electronics, is a special kind of high heat resistant. So basically, the skin, the insulator, can withstand very high temperature. So as you can see that when the wire is very hot for 10 gauge wire and 40 amp is probably okay. But so that's it's good to know about that. But anyway, so but still my question is it legal in North America? So I questioned the seller. I say, why don't you show me some videos of your engineers testing this machine for like a 10 kilowatt load? So they sent me the next video. So basically it's a very short video, and it shows that for the short duration here, it can go up to 10 kilowatt. So basically this is it. So this is 10 kilowatt, the 200 amps of current from the battery. And then she showed the two separate phases. Each one is running like 5.1 kilowatt. So that's it. So I'm happy that the machine can put up to a load of 10 kilowatt for at least as long as they showed. And then I asked if they run 10 kilowatt for like 15 minutes or like 30 minutes, what's the temperature of the wires like, and also the conductor connecting to the battery. They didn't respond to that. But anyway, so I'm still happy because I think I can double the wire. I can see that the wire has a screw on it. I can put another wire, double it. So on the AC side, the AC input and the AC output. But the battery input, the negative is easy. Also some screws, I can double the size of the negative. But the positive from the battery goes through I assume it's a solid state relay. So it's basically a switch. And the metal plate connecting the bar to the relay is very thin. It's like only half the thickness of the other part of the metal plate. So I calculated in my previous video, and that piece can only allow at most 70 amps. There is no way you should pass like 200 amps of current through that very thin copper plate. So I don't know how to, unless I can replace the relay with my own and with It's also screwed on, I think, and with a thicker plate. I don't know, but anyway, so that's the concern that I have. But I'm still happy that you can run 10 kilowatt load on this machine. So here I want to further emphasize what my concern is. This is a short extract from a YouTuber. The link to his video is below, and you can go and watch the whole video and give him the full credit. I just want to show that even for a 14 gauge wire that is rated for 15 amps, he was testing to pass much higher currents, and up to 50 amps he passed through. He can feel the wire getting very hot, but for the time duration of this video, you don't see, your eyes cannot see changes. Only when he passes like 60 amps, the insulating material starts to disintegrate and starts to basically melt away. Does it mean that I can legally use this wire for 50 amps, which from the experiment it shows that it's okay. It doesn't make any difference, although it's very hot if you touch it. So I would say no. I would still strictly follow the code that runs like 15 amps at most on such a wire for long-term use. A long-term, I would say at least 15 minutes or 10 minutes, not like a short 30 seconds or 1 minute. Anyway, it's an interesting video, so let me just show it.
Try cranking it up some more. For now it's 60 amps, 4 times the rating of the wire, or I should say the ampacity of the wire. And even though it's rated at 15 amps, you're not actually supposed to put more than 12 amps continuous through it. This is certainly, oh yeah, this is getting really hot, but still so far not coming apart. Just like the extension cords, I'm quite impressed. How's the connector? It's certainly warm. Oh, and the wire there is really too hot to touch. I'm also beginning to smell hot plastic. I just heard something. Oh, look at that. It's beginning to break down right here. Maybe I should use the other end of this. So here we go. So somewhere around 60 amps, this household wiring is beginning to melt. Oh, you can see it over here too. How's the MAR connector? The MAR connector's surviving. It's too hot to touch. So its plastic is clearly more heat resistant than the insulation on the cable, and you would hope it is that way. In fact, the plastic is showing no sign of getting any softer.
So that's it. So the lesson that I would like to learn from here is that if you do a small test and you see that, oh, I got a small wire, 14 gauge wire, and I even passed like 40 amps and even 50 amps, I didn't see, like for half a minute or 1 minute, I didn't see much of a difference. That doesn't mean that you can safely use it like for long term. And you know that the plastic will denature, like with this high temperature all the time or frequently. So I would still say that the inverter, I told them you could charge us $200 more just to make just to make the wires bigger, because I know it's more expensive to use bigger wire and bigger bus bar, bigger copper plates. But the machine, the inverter itself is really not that expensive if you add another $100 or $200. I mean, I don't think you need $200 to make those wires like up to the North American standards. Anyway, so it's unfortunate, but anyway, I would in the future try to make the wires bigger by myself. Thank you for your attention, and I would really welcome to comments that makes me understand the thing even better. Thank you again.